Hello and welcome back to the Caitlin V Show. Today we're talking dirty. Have you ever had a moment, whether that was in-person, phone, or video, where dirty talk was required and you didn't have the exact formula to make it happen? Or even worse, you were awkward, stuttered, or used a very clinical term, or even said something that just ruined the mood? Well, never fear, my friends. I am here to talk dirty with you, or more specifically, to teach you exactly how to talk dirty for you and your lover's delight. And I'm going to share with you my exact dirty talk formula that I have been teaching to clients for years to help them feel confident and capable at talking dirty in the bedroom. I am Caitlin V. I am a sex coach and relationship expert. And listen, dirty talk is a vital skill that all lovers need to have some experience with. I can just about guarantee that by mastering this skill, you will bring an extra dimension into the bedroom. Other people are turned on by auditory stimulus. That is sounds, moans, grunts, and yes, the specific words that you use in a sexual encounter. And even if that doesn't describe you or your lover, if you're social distancing, you might be experiencing a lot more phone and video sex than you were before. And if that's the case, then you already know dirty talk is crucial for creating a strong and mutually arousing experience for two people who can't be in the same room together. But wait, there's more. Dirty talk is also an amazing way to test out new fantasies and ideas before making them into a reality. Through the power of dirty talk, you can experience an imaginary threesome. You can fantasize about kink or BDSM or bondage. You can experience all kinds of different sexual encounters without actually physically making them happen. Dirty talk gives you the power to introduce new and novel ideas into your bedroom in an extremely low-risk environment. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that and how to make your own rules of engagement so that your dirty talk, so that your dirty talk feels safe and consensual and fun, and so that you can introduce new and kinky ideas without having to worry about putting your partner off or ruining the mood. I came across an exciting study that shows that sexting in particular can lead to more exciting and consensual sexual experiences. And that's because talking about what we like and what we want to do, what we're consenting to, and what's kind of on the edge for us in person can be awkward. Let's be real. Let's not pretend that we live in a fantasy world where communicating about sex just comes easily to everyone. It doesn't, and that's okay. And therefore, texting or emailing or speaking where you're not having eye-to-eye contact in the same room sometimes allows us to play out our sexual ideas, give enthusiastic consent, and explore what we would like to do when we finally do get together in person, leading to a more satisfying experience when we are together. So I really cannot emphasize enough, this is an important skill for so many reasons. All right, first, what even is dirty talk? Dirty talk is an umbrella term that could include anything from suggestive flirtation all the way to mid-coitus narration of a sexual experience. And for our purposes, we're going to consider everything. We're going to consider dirty talk that is engaged in over text, whether that's sexting or emailing, and we're going to talk about dirty talk that is said vocally, whether that's over video or in person. Great, now that you know what dirty talk is, let's get into how you can master it. Number one, start solo. That's right, you want your exploration to begin on your own by doing some research and figuring out what really works for you. That's because trying new things out in front of another person is awkward, and you need to have a sense of inspiration to talk dirty. You don't have to come up with all this on your own. I guarantee people have been talking dirty since people have been talking. I think it goes without saying that the ancient Greeks and Romans were kinky as and they were definitely talking dirty. And I think if I could wager a bet, the Egyptians probably had some nasty hieroglyphics. I know for sure there's a lot of sexy naked sculpture in India. People have been talking dirty and, quite frankly, painting and sculpting and thinking dirty for a long time. And then it's because sex is such a central and key experience in what it means to be a human. Anyway, how to dirty talk. You don't have to come up with all of it on your own. There's a lot of great resources out there, and your dirty talk exploration should start with you exploring them. Explore your own turn on. Access erotic material, whether that's erotic stories or erotic audio or even porn. Figure out what turns you on and the words that you want to communicate about it, which is step 2. Make a list of words that you do like and words that you do not like. All of us are going to have turn on words and turn off words, and hopefully there'll be a good chunk of those that we share with our partner, especially the turn on ones. Like in my Venn diagram and in your Venn diagram, I hope that there's a lot of words that we can use for each other's bodies that we both really, really like. But the only way to figure that out is to do that internal work first. Ask yourself, what words do you like your body to be called? You're the only person that can actually determine what you like, what preferences you have. And if you identify as non-binary or someone who is not a cisgender individual, knowing what you want your body parts to be called can help avoid a gender dysphoria breakdown in the bedroom, and actually calling them the words that are a turn on for you can be quite gender euphoric, but only if you've done the work beforehand. So create a list of the words that you do and do not like, words that do turn you on and do turn you off, and be ready to share that list with a partner. And then step 3, practice. I kid you not, practice saying these words in the mirror. Now, there are people out there that don't believe in mirror practice, or they think that it's not effective. You may be one of those people. I have always found that practicing, whether that was a speech or a toast at a wedding or dirty talk that I want to use in bed, practicing that in the mirror, hearing myself say it out loud, especially if you are a male person listening to this and you want to dirty talk from a dominant perspective. Well, listen, if you want to be dominant in the bedroom, you get to practice your dominant voice. There's very few things that are less sexy than an insecure dom who doesn't really believe and is not deeply grounded in the words that he or she is saying. Therefore, practice makes perfect, and practice makes you comfortable and confident. When you listen to yourself saying these words and phrases over and over again, you begin to really embody them. And that way, when you're in the heat of the moment, it will be a lot easier for you to call upon these words, phrases, ideas, and you won't be rummaging around in your brain for something to say if you have a rich fantasy that you've already practiced speaking out. And while you're practicing, try doing so in different voices. Speak more slowly. Try deeper, maybe even a breathier voice. Change your melody. Maybe speak in monotone, especially if you're going to dom. Play around with this so that you really get a sense of what feels good and natural for you. Now it's time to bring dirty talk out into the open and share it with another person. Well, my best recommendation is that you start by playing around with some communication about communication. In other words, talk about talking dirty, or establish an ROE, rules of engagement. All this means is that you have an agreement on your dirty talk. Listen, I've been in plenty of scenarios where things were going great, we were getting hot and heavy, and then suddenly the person I was with said something extremely out of left field, and it completely threw me off, and in some cases even ruined the mood. I'm gonna hopefully share with you the exact formula to prevent that from happening, but listen, if me and that partner had established our rules of engagement beforehand, and I knew or could expect what was coming, and they knew what would be a turn on for me or how I like to be dirty talked to, we could have avoided some very tricky, icky, and awkward situations. Basically, your rules of engagement should include what subjects are kosher, what subjects cannot be spoken about or do we not enjoy thinking about, the words that we don't enjoy using or being called, and when and how we are going to dirty talk. And this especially applies to sexting. I have a couple specific examples for sexting itself, because listen, dick pics have gotten a bad reputation, but dick pics are not necessarily bad. In fact, a wanted dick pic can be an amazing, enjoyable, sexy, arousing thing. The most important thing is that you send said pic, or whatever that picture is, of at a time where it is desired, where it has been mutually agreed upon that you want that picture or that idea or that text message that says all kinds of freaky nasty things in it. If that comes through in the middle of, say, a meeting with your boss and it pops up on your screen while you're screen sharing on a Zoom call, it's gonna do more harm than good. I'll leave it there. The best way, I think, to avoid this is to have an app that you use just for your dirty talk and dirty picture exchange. Maybe an app like Signal, which offers end-to-end encryption. They did not sponsor this video. I just like that app because you know that that is going to be a sexy message. Because then when you see the notifications show up, you know that that's going to be a sexy message and you can choose to look at it later when the timing is appropriate. Setting these boundaries up in advance can prevent some negative consequences from happening down the road. Here's the moment we have all been waiting for, the dirty talk formula. Say you're in the heat of the moment and all of your preparation completely goes out the window. You've practiced for this moment, but you are in the moment, and now all that practice is gone, and it's just you staring at your partner, whether that's over a screen or in person, and you have to come up with something sexy to say. What do you do? Well, here is the exact formula. Number 1, describe what is happening. Literally describe what is happening. You are doing this. I am doing that. You are touching me here. I am licking you there. I'm trying to make this PG-13. Your thingy is going in my thingy. You know what I mean. Literally describe the action that is happening. This should be fairly easy because all you have to do is describe what's already happening. And if you've made your list of words and you know the words that your partner wants you to use, all you have to do is call upon those and describe exactly what's happening in that moment. That is dirty talk formula number 1. Dirty talk formula number 2 is describe how it feels. Talk about what is happening in terms of what feels good. I like it when you lick me there. It sends a chill up my spine when you touch me here. You're going so deep, so hard, so soft. You are so delicious, so delightful. Talk about what you like in descriptive terms. And then formula part number 3, describe a shared sexual encounter that you've already had that you knew was mutually pleasurable. So this works especially if you have had a handful of really great sexual encounters and you already know that your partner really enjoyed them too. They could be from years ago, they could be from last night. But the safety in the fantasy is that you already had this shared encounter. It doesn't involve an ex, it doesn't involve bondage or something you haven't tried yet, and it's not outside of the realm of things that you've already done and enjoyed. Therefore, describing a shared sexual encounter as a fantasy. Hey, remember that time that oh my God, it was so hot when do you remember the view of the volcano where we got intimate on the balcony? This is a safe bet. And most partners will welcome the reminder of a great sexual encounter that you already shared. Finally, a pro tip, don't limit dirty talk to just words and narration. Dirty talk can also very easily include sounds, grunts, moans, noises. You know, all of us were told as children, or I guess all of us, I like to think all of us, certainly I was told as a child, to be quiet, to lower your voice, to use your indoor voice, to not act out, to not be a gross animal. Well, guess what? Humans, we are gross animals. We're just animals. There's no need to judge us as gross. All animals are basically the same, and all animals make noise. And the more that you allow, do all animals make noise? That may have been factually inaccurate. Earthworms seem quite quiet. Listen, we're all apes. All apes make noises. And you as a human ape can unleash yourself and express yourself by making noises. Get animal with it. Grunt, groan, moan. Start small. You don't have to start with like a full-on or like purring like a kitten. You can start small by making little noises that feel authentic to you. Allow your partner to hear your breath. Allow a soft moan. Maybe even say their name. This all qualifies as dirty talk, and certainly if your partner or you are turned on by the audio aspects and audio stimulation, noises, grunts, groans, and moans are going to enhance the experience, and they may make it feel safer for you to dirty talk because the sound barrier has already been broken. You're already making noises. Noises are already a part of your play in this instance. And one more pro tip for those of you who are engaging in sexting or in email, start slow. If you jump right to the end, you're going to find it very difficult to continue to exchange text messages at the height or the peak of a sexual encounter. So start really, really slow, like deliberately slow. Describe the process of taking off your clothes. Describe the process of smelling, licking, tasting, touching the other person. Describe what it feels like to be licked, tasted, touched, felt. Go excruciatingly slow. You will be glad that you did, because you could have a sexy text message exchange that lasts 10 minutes or one that goes on over 10 days. There's no need to rush to the end if you are enjoying it. That's all that really matters. And sometimes that anticipation is as good as anything else. All right, that's the formula and a couple pro tips, but let me answer one more question. What if it gets awkward? If you've ever had an awkward dirty talk encounter, please leave a comment below and either just say, I have, or describe it. I would love to hear about it. For me, my awkward dirty talk almost always includes using a super clinical word because I'm at my heart a scientist. Sometimes I think in terms of anatomy and not in terms of sexy. We all have our things. So if it's you that makes the dirty talk faux pas, just take ownership of it, apologize, take responsibility, maybe even like take a break if they say that sort of ruined the mood, and then get back to it if both of you are consenting and still interested. If it's your partner that makes a dirty talk faux pas, address it right away. Do not just sit there and think, oh my God, that made me so uncomfortable. I wish that he had never said that. Say something right then and there, give them the opportunity to own it and to apologize for it. And maybe, maybe they used a word, a mean word that you weren't particularly into being called in that moment. Just address it straight up. Hey, I don't really like being called that word. That offends me and it takes me out, puts me in my head and takes me out of the mood. If they take ownership of it, great. And you want to hop back in and start all over again, awesome. Highly recommend it. If they don't, maybe they don't respect your wishes and your boundaries, and you can see them to the door because they don't really deserve to be in a position where they are talking dirty to you if they don't respect your boundaries. In summary, dirty talk is an awesome way to keep connected over a social distance, to try on hot, new, exciting things, and to please your partner if they are aroused by audio stimulus. It doesn't have to be that hard. Try on your own first. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's plenty of inspirational material out there. Set your rules of engagement and the words that you do and do not want to use, and then bring it into the bedroom with your partner. Don't forget my dirty talk formula if you get lost in the heat of the moment, but I believe in you. You're gonna do great, probably because you're already subscribed to this channel. But if you're not, make sure that you are. Don't go on a minute longer, because if you really want to be a great lover and you want to have a great sex life, this is the place to be. New videos coming every single week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you here next week.